seldom awaken. Undiscoverable by modern science.
The intention of our minds is powerful and a curse.
Okay, this experience is about a different kind of virtual reality experience that I've never really didn't know how to explain, but I knew it was different than all the other experiences, like virtual reality experience, out-of-body experience, lucid dream. This is a little different what the aliens do sometimes, and it seems like they always do this type when I finally, like where I get insomnia, and then like I'll wake up like at 3 a.m. and then I have to get up like at 6:30 or whatever, and sometimes I'll have insomnia all the way up to like 6:15 or whatever, and then I'll finally like doze off, but then I have to get up at 6:30 or 6:45 or whatever. But it seems like these kind of experiences always happen. It may just be coincidental, I don't know, but and it seems like I snap out of them prematurely, which kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Because I don't like to snap out of my experiences. But anyway, it seems like they always do. So maybe it depends on what kind of brainwave state you're in or something, but it does seem like more times than not, it's when they give me a good experience, you know, complete full experience, you know, they'll give it to me at I'll be finished with it 30 minutes before I have to wake up. But then when they give me these kind of virtual reality experiences, I'll have insomnia all the way up to like 10 or 15 minutes before I have to wake the freak up and, you know, go to work or whatever. And then they'll throw an experience at me. But this kind of virtual reality experience is really different than the others, and it's kind of like remote view, I guess, but different. Like in remote views, you know, my mind is just stationary and I'm just looking at a total 3D scene or virtual reality scene, but my mind is like stationary and it's not moving around. Well, in this kind of virtual reality experience they give me, it's like they're moving my mind around. It's like I'll just be laying there in bed, and then I guess I'll get into that proper brainwave state, and then the whole, like, bam, then I'm just kind of popped into this virtual reality scene, except, you know, and it's like my mind is just being moved around, but it's not my astral body or anything, it's just like my mind. But it's just like I'm there, virtual reality, you know, 3D or whatever. And actually, I'll show you how it's like. I just found a video. This is how it's like. I've been listening to some old videos, but then I'll talk a little bit about the experience. But they always seem to kind of prematurely end too, so that's why I've never really talked about them before. Oh, God damn it. Okay, history. Okay, this is what it's like right here. This is a video. See, this is what it's like. See how it's kind of moving? I don't know. See how it's kind of like somebody's mind is just kind of like moving around? And yet, yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. This is what it's like. Like, they're moving my mind around. But I'm not flying around. My astral body isn't with me. It's just my mind. They're like moving around. That's exactly what it's like. This is that song, Rockwell. See, this is what it's like. See how it's like somebody's just kind of like, it's like somebody's mind is just moving around, but you can't see their mind. That's what these experiences is like. But let me see here. Okay, so anyway, so about the experience. This was just 2 mornings ago. And like I said, I had to get up in like 15 minutes. And then the aliens popped this experience at me, but I know it was one of the reptilians. I don't know if it was Joel or not. But it was definitely a reptilian because they love to do funny things like make my turtles talk and play like children or whatever. I already talked about that experience in another video, but they'll throw their own unique thing. Lots of times, most of the time, they like to go, off your brain and stuff. But parts of the experience, they'll put their own unique things in the experience. But so anyway, okay. So this is what happened. So they just throw this virtual reality experience at me. Because I was about to fall, I had insomnia till like 3 a.m. After 3 a.m. And then I had to get up in like 15, 20 minutes, and then I was about to doze off, and then boom, they popped me in this virtual reality scene. Except, like I say, it's like I just merge. It's like I merge right into the scene. My mind, it's like my mind just merges right into the scene. And then the alien like moves me around, my mind all around, and then I start looking at this, looking at that, just like that video I just showed you. And so this is how the experience started out. Well, see, every time I come home, I normally go by my friend's house from a long, long time ago from elementary school. Their parents always took me and Deanne places, Branson and everything, and they always paid for everything because they kind of had a lot more money than us. And she was the only child, so she was a spoiled brat. But, I think the parents knew that, like we were kind of poor. And my mom and dad had, 3 kids. So, so the parents paid for everything. They would take us to Branson and restaurants, and I was 10, 11 years old. And anyway, so Deanne Sanders is my friend that used to live in the little white house right around the corner from me. And every time I come home, I see her white house. And so what I just said was all in real life. And so anyway, and I did see Deanne just a couple months ago at the bookstore. I was almost going to talk to her, but I don't know if she really saw me. I saw her, but she maybe did. But I know that was her. And we're the same age and everything, and like I said, we did hang out a lot when I was 9, 10, 11 years old. And I went to her house a lot and spent the night. And their house was always kind of cluttery. It was always kind of cluttery, but it seemed like, as far as I remember, the living room was more kind of immaculate and clean, but like the kitchen and Deanne's room, but her room was very small too. And I don't really remember going into the parents' room very much, but it was kind of cluttery and dirty, Deanne's room and the kitchen. And so anyway, so that's all in real life and everything. But anyway, So a few years ago, I did see the mom walk out to the mailbox. And, you know, her hair was grayer, you know, Deanne's mom. I think her name is Mary, as far as I remember. Well, anyway, you know, so every time I drive by her house, like, my mom knows that she obviously isn't living in the house anymore. We don't know if she died or if she's... We don't know if she died or if she's in a nursing home. And Deanne, I know she has an older sister, but maybe the older sister doesn't want... Or maybe the older sister could have died too, and I'm sure Deanne owns the house. The dad died a long time ago. But, so this house, I mean, it's just left, you know, standing still or whatever. So like I say, I don't know if the mom is dead or if the mom is like in a nursing home and Deanne just doesn't want to sell the house. But it's a little white house, and so, you know, the aliens know the aliens, they've given me so many virtual reality and lucid dreams and stuff in that house. Another one recently, a few months ago. And they'll put like these acquaintances, so to speak, that I knew from 30-something years ago. Nikki, I mean, yeah, because, I mean, they'll go way back and pick things from my brain to put in my scenarios. Okay, so anyway, so... the house is empty. I mean, not empty. There's nobody living in the house, but everything is just frozen in time, so to speak. And because my mom, she's like real nosy too, and she notices how somebody will come over and turn the lights on, which is probably, you know, Deanne. And she's my age. You know, so anyway, me and my mom, you know, we deciphered that she definitely isn't living in the house. The mother, like I said, we don't know if she died or if she's in a nursing home. But why Deanne doesn't sell the house, I don't know. So it's just kind of frozen in time or whatever. And so anyway, the aliens know that I've been thinking about that and everything. So anyway, this is the scene that this is the virtual reality scene that they gave me 2 mornings ago on the 8th of June 8th. And so they immediately start, you know, they merge me into this virtual reality scene in Deanne Sanders' house. And like I say, I've been in the house many times, you know, 30-something years ago, because I used to hang out with her all the time. And I totally remember what her house looked like and how it's set up and everything. And so the aliens, which I do believe it was a reptilian, but I don't know if it was Joel. But I know it was the same one that gave me that other lucid dream, virtual reality type experience where they made my turtles start talking and playing like little children. And that video is on here too. I can't remember what I titled it. But yeah, so my mind, just like that video I just showed you, my mind just kind of, you know, I was totally there, except, you know, my astral body and stuff wasn't there. My mind wasn't fixed, like in remote views. And my mind, you know, the aliens moved my mind around, like, here, let's go into the bathroom, let's go into the living room. But it's, you know, it's not my astral body, it's just my mind. But I still see, you know, it's like I'm there, you know. It's totally 3D almost. I mean, it's totally 3D. Like, no different than being in 3D. And so he pops me into the house, into the White House, Deanne's house, and I immediately kind of, he shows me, like, I go through the kitchen with my mind. I see all the kitchen, and then he moves me into the living room, and I see all that. And in the scenario, of course, the kitchen was bigger, the living room was bigger, but everything was immaculate. And it was like, there was like brand new carpet in the living room, brand new carpet. And it was like Deanne was about, I mean, I knew she, you know, even in this experience, I knew she wasn't living in the house, but it was like she was just gonna maybe have a little Christmas party there. And it's like, I saw over there near the mantle, like a half-assed Christmas tree kind of set up with some half-assed decorations. And I was just thinking, oh, okay, I guess she's gonna maybe have a little Christmas party soon or something. But anyway, everything was a lot more immaculate than in real life, than what than how she really used to live, her and her mom and dad. But the kitchen, he moved me around into the kitchen first, and the kitchen was pretty clean, and it was a lot bigger in the scenario. And then I go over to the right, which in real life, that's exactly how the house is set up. He moves my mind around, into the living room. And I probably already forgotten some details, but this is just a different kind of virtual reality experience that, like I said, I've never really talked about before. And they always seem to just kind of prematurely end because I always got to get up and go to work or whatever. And so I don't know if, maybe it depends on my brainwave state or something. He gives me this type of virtual reality experience, but like I say, it's different than a lucid dream, out-of-body experience, virtual reality experience, remote view. It's different than all that. It's like, just like I said, that video I just showed you. And so anyway, here's the funny part. And I wouldn't have even talked about this video if it wasn't for the funny part. So anyway, when the other part was I asked Deanne, I was like, in this experience, as the reptilian was moving my mind around, I finally asked Deanne was in the house, and it seemed like my mom was in the house, and there was like 3 or 4 friends that I knew from many, many years ago, but I can't remember exactly who they were. And I asked, as I was moving around in this virtual reality scene, around the living room and stuff, I was like, Deanne, is your mom dead, or is she dead, or is she in a nursing home? And Deanne said she died 1 year ago. She did say she died 1 year ago, but I don't know if that's really true or not. And I want to say, as far as I remember, like I say, this experience happened, in June. As far as I remember, Deanne did say, like, exactly a year ago, June of 2016. She said that. And so I was thinking, in the experience in my head, okay, that was exactly a year ago, So yeah, she told me she died June of 2016, a year ago. She even said that 1 year ago. And then here's the funny part. Well, as the reptilian moved me my mind into the living room, and this was all virtual reality. The carpet was kind of tannish, light tannish, and it was completely immaculate. There was this gray cat, like a kind of large male gray tabby cat, kind of with stripes, tabby cat. And he was just sitting there like this. His head was pointing that way. And it was so hilarious. This is a funny part. And but Deanne never had cats, but I don't know why the alien threw the cat in the scenario, or the alien threw the cat in the scenario. But this cat, so then, of course, the alien kind of stopped my mind, and I was sitting there staring at the cat. And the cat was kind of like, he started talking. First of all, he started being like kind of grumpy and grumbling. Like, he kind of started grumbling, and he was like, I just hate this life. It was so hilarious. He was saying like, I hate this life. And like, exactly that's how he was talking. This cat. This was a cat talking. It was so hilarious. And like I said, he kind of seemed like he was a grumpy cat. And I can't remember the exact words he was saying, but he did say he was kind of like I'm unhappy and blah, 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 blah. It was so hilarious.